Welcome back to Supernova Traveler. If you are new around here, join our Travel Around the World family. Or if you have been here before, please remember to subscribe, comment, and like, and continue your journey as we review Married at First Sight, Season 11, Episode 13, Home Alone, COVID Edition. I'd like to start off with Amani and Woody with a quick comparison video between Woody and Brandon of last year.
Babe, can you roll over?
Woody all happy and relaxed. His wife is next to him. He's sleeping good. Brandon, he blaming everything on anxiety, looking like somebody scarred him for life. And just in case any of you don't know, this is Brandon from last year, Season 10.
You hear that? You'll see. That sweet sound of snoring.
He flew out that bed like a bat out of hell, didn't he? If you've seen Season 10, you kind of know what happened next. But we're going to continue on with Amani and Woody. Amani finally tells Woody that she loves him, and she tells him in her own or in his love language by writing it on a board and giving him gifts that, uses his senses to remember the relationship and to remember him. And he loves it. And he's so excited that she finally has told him. During quarantine, Amani and Woody are honestly enjoying all the time that they have together. They're laying on the couch together. They're still making those nice breakfasts together. He's still giving her flowers. Every time you see them on video, they are underneath each other. They're touching each other. And they're just growing more and more in love. Unlike some couples we know. Amani tells Woody that she loves him. And like all self-sabotaging women do, she then asks to see his DMs and states that I know you have hoes. And then he says no, of course not knowing if it's a joke or not a joke. And she get all serious. And I'm like, Amani, you serious because that was not a joke. You know you wanted to look. You said I love you and now you in your feelings in this moment. You just didn't like his answer. Now, sis, keep that confidence you had before you told him you loved him. And please, don't make a big deal out of this. Woody, you are right to want your own privacy. And I also think in relationships, honestly, social media should be open to everyone. It doesn't matter, because if you don't have anything to hide, then who cares about the idea of privacy? What privacy are you looking for? But I also understand that you don't need somebody to be in your business 24/7. And having a little mystery in a relationship, like Amelia's friend said, is very important in a relationship. So, I get it. So, Amani and Woody, they have a call with Pastor Kyle. They talk about how they're feeling about each other, that they finally said that they love each other. Woody wants children in the next year and a half. Amani's like, let's wait about 5 years. And they get over that social media hump very well, and they're back talking about having babies and puppies.
I could pass on a Scorpio, baby. It's just gonna be like you. But we could do this Scorpio baby thing if we can get like the Scorpio puppy.
Olivia and Brett are literally the epitome of why signing a contract for this show brings down the whole experience of this show. Because these two people don't want to be together, but they're trapped in this relationship, and they're literally faking it to make it and just trying when they really honestly should not be trying. They need to just break up and let bygones be bygones. Let's go through their segment. We start with the couples talking about their experience during COVID-19. As we know, Olivia is a nurse, and Brett lets us know that someone at his job actually caught COVID, and the situation really hits close to home for him. He then talks about his pet peeves, and I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, I agree. I hate watching a movie with someone who is on their phone and not present in the movie. Just like my videos, I don't video myself because I want the audience to focus on the show and only the show, and not focus on my background, how I look, what the room looks like. I want you to focus and be engrossed in the show that we're talking about.
Like if you're watching a movie with someone and it's like a movie that you like and that you're sharing with them and they're on their phone while you're trying to watch the movie and like not even really paying attention, that's pretty annoying.
I still concur that Brett is a butthole, and he has a really hard time just communicating his basic needs. He stated on the honeymoon that communication is a big deal, but every time a small aspect bothers him, he completely shuts down or becomes sarcastic and walks away. Everyone knows when a person's attitude changes, even without the person saying anything, the aura in the room becomes suffocating, and then it's like pulling teeth to actually resolve the issue. It's just emotionally and mentally exhausting to get people to express themselves. Personally, I think Brett is basically over Olivia because she didn't have sex with him. But I have to say, these last 2 episodes made me really, really not like Olivia. She's a bit narcissistic, she's self-involved, I think she's shady, she's a liar, and she likes to talk in circles. And I don't really think she's always being completely honest with the experts. She uses them as a crutch to explain herself, but I just don't think she's always honest. And it's explained here with Dr. Pepper when she decided to go to her mom's house and pretended that she didn't know it was a concern for Brett.
There's just no communication.
Okay, this is true. That's true. When Olivia starts talking to Dr. Pepper about Brett and the conversation that they both had in regards to coronavirus, this is when things start to go downhill.
I'm like, are you afraid? Like, I finally just had to ask him, like, are you afraid? Are you scared? And he was like, well, yeah, I mean, I am worried about it.
Okay, Olivia, so you admit that Brett told you he was afraid and he was worried about coronavirus.
But then I went to go visit my mom and it didn't go over well with Brett.
When he asked you not to go visit your family, but he seemed genuinely panicked.
Okay, Dr. Pepper, I'm following your conversation. I understand your line of questioning. Okay, let's continue.
Like I still think it's such a bad idea to be traveling any kind of long distances right now. Not to mention that we're still under obviously the stay-at-home order.
So Brett, what you're telling me is that you're on a stay-at-home order and you don't really think people should be traveling. Okay.
About sort of breaking the seal of your household.
He never expressed those feelings to me.
Okay, Olivia. After looking at that back, when did he not express his feelings to you? It looks like he said it several times. It looks like you admit that he says it. And now, during this conversation, you're backpedaling and saying that he didn't have that conversation with you. And but wait, let's see what you had to say in regards to his fears.
I said, I guess I just don't see eye to eye on this with you because I go to work and I live COVID. When I come into this apartment, this is my safety net.
So, it's all about you, Olivia, huh? You don't see eye to eye with Brett and his fears and concerns and wanting to be updated about the coronavirus. You just care that you work with coronavirus every day and you just don't want to hear about it when you get home. Okay, understood, granted. But let's see what you did about it once he told you about his fears.
Literally everyone, me, anyone she talked to agreed with me and said that it was a bad idea, and she still went.
He doesn't communicate.
Now, Olivia, you have me wondering, does Brett not communicate? Or do you just decide not to listen? Because after this conversation, you're a complete, utter liar. And you only care about what you want, how you want it, and when you want it. You do not care about anyone else's feelings, concerns, just your own.
It's frustrating because he tries to deflect and point the fingers and somehow circle it back to where it's always my fault.
Olivia, from where I'm standing, you're the only one pointing fingers. Like, Olivia, does he have to be Courage the Cowardly Dog for you to pick up on social cues? How the hell are you a nurse? Now I'm concerned with your bedside manner, because do you just look the other way when something makes you uncomfortable? Or if something is against what you really want to do, you just ignore what it is and then go do what you want to do anyway? Like, I don't understand. Brett sits down with Pastor Cal and he basically says he's over it. He's done. He doesn't want to be in this relationship in but so many words. Pastor Cal basically is trying to convince him to stay in it, or does he think there's anything they can do to reconcile? And Brett's like, no.
Do you think that between now and decision day that anything could be done to try to, I guess, go in the other direction?
No, no thanks.
Brett, that was a dick move. You did not have to look at your watch like that. That was so rude. I don't know about everyone else, but Brett did make the right decision. Look, Olivia was giving Brett conditions about how his face should look, how his personality should be. She was using doubt words such as, I don't want to have children, but in 2 years after I've lived my life, you're going to be living your life for the rest of your life. You're only 30. He said he wanted children in 2 years. How long is he supposed to wait to have children with someone that he wants to be with and in a loving marriage? Like, honestly, he's supposed to wait 2 years for you to make a decision whether you like him or not or love him or not, just to say, oh, no, I don't want to have kids. And he's supposed to do that every 2 years now until you're ready? That's not fair, that's not appropriate, and you're not on the same page. Brett is committed to that timeline. Why should he have to wait? And Olivia, why would you even consider someone to waste their time? That is not a logical person speaking. And Olivia, no, nothing can be done because you don't want to compromise. You said from the beginning that you wanted someone to be your spouse, to fit into your world. You honestly never had a desire to fit into someone else's world. And that is why you cannot be successful in this relationship. And until you change your mindset and your behavior, you won't fit into a lot of relationships. Alright, let's move on to Christina and Henry. And let's face it, Kristen was right. This whole relationship is a joke. I think I laughed majority of this segment away. It was like, why am I wasting my time? If I wasn't doing a review on this show, I could just fast forward through this bull. But here we are. Let's review them. So, Christina and Henry spending more time together 6 feet apart on the couch during quarantine. I guess they're scared to interact with one another as well.
5th birthday. My friend just had a cake delivered. Look at this. My phone has been blowing up all day from friends and colleagues and family.
Wow, can we guess who lives with Henry and forgot his birthday?
If I did that, kind of feel like the reaction would have maybe been a little different.
So we talked to Henry first, and he tries to say how he's spending more time with Christina and they're getting to know each other better and they're watching movies and all that jazz. Of course, they don't like any of the same things, but they're trying. And then we get some bad news about Christina. She tells Henry she's going for a walk, and then she doesn't come back till 3 a.m. in the morning. Sounds like red flags to me, even though she's been a red flag since the day her episode aired. Henry sits down with Pastor Cal, on the computer, and he kind of gives him the rundown of why Christina isn't a good match for him and why he thinks Christina's a liar. Basically saying all the things that I've been saying since day one.
I've noticed a pattern of dishonesty prevented me from really opening up to her like early on or just talking to her. And it's concerning.
Okay, Pastor Kyle, what you have to say about that?
Let's unpack that a little bit. When you say dishonest, are we talking, you feel as though she's lying or she's being just disingenuous? Like, what are we talking about?
Well, okay, Pastor Kyle, let me give you the rundown. For starters,
Her living situation, She told me she lived in the CBD. Long story short, she lived in the CBD, and then apparently she moved to Airbnb, and then this opportunity presented itself. So
Henry, where was she keeping all her stuff?
I just have like a bunch of my stuff in my car.
Okay, Henry, I can understand that. What else happened? Was there any other concerns you may have had?
it was Sunday afternoon, 2:00. She said she was going on a walk. She was dressed like anything but she was going on a walk.
So what happened after that? Like, she went out, she was dressed in anything but like she was going for just a walk. Did she contact you at all, or did she say anything to you?
Then she texted me at like 1:45 saying she was helping a friend rearrange her apartment. And I'm pretty sure she didn't come home that night. I stayed up till 1 a.m.
Surprisingly, Pastor Cowges only had to say was those some huge concerns and asked him if he had talked to Christina about it. Well, let's see how that goes when you try to talk to Christina about it.
Like somewhat concerning your living situation. You said you lived in the CBD.
I did.
You said when we first
live in
met.
the CBD.
The hardest part about lying is remembering and keeping up with the lie.
You think I want to hear or whatever, which is like an understandable reaction.
That's what you do for me. So
No, because I was like, I'm honest.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. It makes me feel like
Christina,
you were just so checked out.
Honestly, this conversation went nowhere, and we as the audience didn't get any answers. Where was Christina living? Where did she go until 2 a.m. in the morning? Why does she have to lie about these things? Look, I still have questions. Christina, of course, talks to Dr. Pepper, and her issues with, Henry are minuscule compared to Henry's problems with her.
He goes to the grocery store like at least twice a day. And it's like he's passing by flowers and stuff. Like, why wouldn't he think like, oh, maybe Christina would like that?
You can't even remember his birthday. Why should he remember to get you flowers? Not saying that one is better than the other, but you're just as thoughtless, but you're calling out someone else for being thoughtless. Now, we have an American saying for that, the pot calling the kettle black. Remember when I told everyone that Christina is a child who is a compulsive liar and who also is a tit-for-tat person? So if you hurt her in an honest way, she has to lie and try to hurt you and your reputation in the worst way. And she continues throughout this season to do just that to Henry. And let's see our final keynote.
And so eventually she told me that a quote unquote reliable source texted her, a male. He and I were allegedly sleeping together.
Christina, so if a guy doesn't sleep with you on the first night, I guess he must be gay, right? There's nothing to do with your personality. Maybe he may not be attracted to you. Maybe he doesn't have chemistry with you. If he doesn't want to have sex with you on the first night, it's just hands off, you're gay. Christina, why? Why are you this way? Just drama for no reason. Okay, so this review got a little long. Sorry. But I'm going to come back with part 2 and do the last 2 couples. Hopefully that won't be a little bit shorter, maybe 5-10 minutes. But I have a lot to say about Karen and Miles, so I don't know. I can't make you any promises. So stay tuned.